Hey everyone, it's Girl on the Go, live at the Vortex in Los Angeles, covering an incredible event of art, music, and most importantly, celebrating the life and the works of the amazing James Baldwin. The screening is of the 1990 film, The Price of the Ticket. I am so excited. James Baldwin, Girl on the Go, let's go! It's Girl on the Go. I'm live at the Vortex with a talented artist named Levi Morris. So Levi, what brought you out tonight?
Well, I worked with Melvin a few months back on a show. I was at front of house and he found out that I'm an artist and he asked me if I would present some of my work here tonight.
And I must say, an incredible artist. And if people want to follow you and learn more about your art, tell them where to find you.
You can find me on Instagram. I'm at Levi Austin Morris. I also have a website. It's lmorrisarts.weebly.com.
And then let's not forget, while we are both here for the love of James Baldwin. So
absolutely.
I guess in short, what does James Baldwin mean to you?
So I'm brand new to James Baldwin.
He's a James Baldwin virgin. Oh my God. Okay, did that come out right? Okay, so anyway.
Yeah, so I have a friend who actually recently lent me a book and I've been reading it, and I just read an essay he wrote about his dad, and it was very powerful. So I'm excited to continue reading all of his essays.
So have you seen the script?
I have not, so I'm very excited to see this tonight.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. The Price of the Ticket, James Baldwin with Levi Morris. I am so excited. The Vortex rules. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Kimberly Lee here, Girl on the Go. I'm back at the Vortex with an amazing gentleman who's going to be our MC tonight for the James Baldwin event, Mr. Bill White. So, Mr. White, thank you for coming out tonight.
Not at all. I loved it.
So tell me, gosh, in a sentence or two, what James Baldwin means to you.
James Baldwin means a lot to me as a writer. He, two of his main things were that he thought writers should be a witness, and also writers to try and change the individual within society.
And do you have, if you had to pick one of his favorite works of yours, I know they're all amazing, what would that be and why?
The Fire Next Time.
And why?
Because he analyzes our country, America, and the racial situation and his point of view. It's a wonderful piece, and at the very end, he's a little, he thinks about damnation, all of those kinds of things. But at the very end of his book, The Fire Next Time, his essay, he says, God gave Noah the rainbow sign. No more water, is a fire next time.
Oh, it was brilliant.
Yeah, and I just thought that even though it was apocalyptic, it still got the message across. And that's why I find him really exciting.
Well, I just watched the movie that's going to be screened tonight from 1989-90, The Price of the Ticket. Have you seen this before? Or
No,
if you
I
have
haven't,
not, what are you excited about tonight?
Well, I'm excited to see whether or not there's another part of James Baldwin is introduced to me that I didn't know before.
I was going to say, and that's a lot, because Bill White is not only a most smart guy, you're a writer.
Yes.
You're acting as the MC tonight.
Yes.
And what else do you do that inspires you?
I produce and I direct.
A Renaissance man, Bill White. Thank you so much. Girl on the Go. Thank you, Mr. White.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Who was a black socialist who advocated and talked very much on the same issues back in 1919. I think his raw honesty in his writing, he only wrote 2 plays, so you have an opportunity to contrast the Amen Corner with, of course, Mr. Chow.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I'm here to do, as just another playwright offering his subjective opinion.
Well, I love George Corbin's humility, and thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
Good night, girl on the go. Let's go. Everyone, I'm with Clarence Williams. I am so privileged. I'm going to tell you what he's done with James Baldwin. First of all, thank you so much for coming out tonight. And how were you introduced to James Baldwin? Let's go back.
That's kind of funny because I was just sitting over in the corner talking to these ladies, and the name Ruth Brown, the rhythm and blues singer from the 50s, came up. And I was like, wow, Ruth Brown was the person who introduced me to the opportunity to work with James Baldwin. So that's really how it happened. Yeah.
It's that simple.
It was that simple, but complex at the same time.
I was going to say, what was the role that you were going to work with him when you first met him?
Well, they had, I shouldn't say they had decided, but Mr. Baldwin had agreed to a musical production of the Amen Corner.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So Ruth Brown was starring in it. I just simply went down to the theater because we had a relationship. We had been friendly. I'd worked with her before. So I went down to the Ford Theater in Washington, D.C. just to say hello and hang out with her for a bit and catch up. And she was like, you know what, they need you on this project. You really need to go and talk to the general manager.
For you see, he was larger
see about working on the show because he really needs you.
His mission,
and I was like, well, okay.
his destiny,
so
it had been
I went
great.
to talk to the general manager. I was hired in like minutes. And as I'm walking from backstage where his office was into the theater, it was James Baldwin sitting.
So stop right there, because I was just going to ask you, when you first laid eyes, and even in the presence of such an amazing person, what was your first impression?
Have you ever seen that commercial for, it's a bug spray?
Okay, I'm not sure where this is going, but I can't wait to hear it out.
And the bug goes, this stuff just kills me, and it collapses. As I'm walking through the theater and I see him, I was trying to get a word out of my mouth.
That we dream on, because your legacy was handed down from generation to generation.
I managed to get two words, thank you. Very hard. And then I was able to, behind that, push some more air out of my mouth to say, for
and your legacy brought sight
that you
to those not literally
done for us.
But they were figuratively.
And he was like grinning and smiling. He said, well, young man, are you working with us? And I was like, well, yes, I just got hired and I'm going to be doing marketing and special promotions for the show. And he says, well, wonderful. He says, well, my assistant and I are about to go over to the hotel for drinks. Why don't you join us? And I was like,
wait a minute, James Baldwin, just upon meeting you before he was dazzled with what you are going to do for him, he doesn't even know you from Adam, invites you for drinks.
Well, they were about to leave the theater, and he thought, oh, wow, here's a young person who's going to work on the show. You know, why don't you just come and join us? And so, yeah.
That is so Jimmy.
Don't sit here, nigga. You can't sit here, nigga, because you ain't
How long did you work with him in that production, and what did you take away from that experience?
Because your legacy was born.
Well, let us just say the show died a very natural death on Broadway, so it wasn't long in living, but it opened up the relationship for us to keep working together. So I worked with him for another year and a half. Yeah, so I worked with him 2 years in total.
And what years were they?
At his funeral, you know, because we stayed close.
Head held high.
Well, I just saw the film that you're all going to be screening tonight, and I noticed the pallbearers, so you're one of those in this film.
I was one of the honorary pallbearers. I don't know what the footage is showing, but yeah, I was one of the honorary pallbearers of this film.
What do you think James Baldwin, besides just his great literature, what message do you think that he would want the world to know now? With what's going on with our youth?
I would have to say, I don't want to make it sound like a cliche, but pay attention. He was a great observer of life, and he was also a witness to injustices. So, regardless to all of the manic behavior we're witnessing from 1600 Pennsylvania, I think he would be one of those people that would say, not only should you stay awake, but use your voice in every fervent beat of your body.
And you need to know Dr. Martin Luther
Love what you just said.
he always stood up for everyone. I mean, even just walking down the street, if he saw something awry with maybe the police hassling some young person, he would immediately stop and like look at what was going on. And if he needed to jump in it, he'd jump in it.
As I said, he was a tiny man, but he was a spitfire.
He was
Yes, we
fierce.
still, and yes,
And I love that sometimes the misnomer is that he was only fighting for the black community. What I loved is he always
He was a global citizen, probably the first global citizen that really understood what that meant. Because it didn't matter what you looked like, what culture you were from, whether you were black, white, green, yellow. I mean, he cared genuinely about people. His heart was just so open, you know. But he would call out, you know, the perpetrators of injustice, or as the kids say, the haters, in a minute. You know, he'd stand his little 5 feet, whatever self, and get up in their faces and defy them to act negatively, you know, towards some person who perhaps could not fight for themselves.
When you got the news that he had passed, what first came to your mind and heart?
Well, naturally, I was devastated, you know. I knew he had been ill, and I knew the pathway to that illness. I mean, in today's standards, you would say he lived a fast life. I mean, he lived a very decadent, beautiful life, you know. So he didn't always take good care of his body. So when he got ill, it was like, okay, we can accept this, but we can't accept him leaving so quickly. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mr. Williams, for giving me more than 2 questions, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say tonight.
Okay, well, I probably said it all already.
And I got it on tape. Thank you. So Kimberly Lee here at the Vortex in LA for the James Baldwin screening of The Price of the Ticket. And I just wanted to talk to some people that showed up on Saturday night. So what's your name and where are you from?
Nathan, I'm from Dallas.
Texas. So what brought you out tonight? With all the different choices in Los Angeles, you came to enjoy quite an amazing event. What's your connection to James Baldwin?
Well, I know a lot about him and, you know, Black history and what he kind of, you know, did for our culture. And my friend Mo, you know, said it would be an event tonight and it'd be something nice to go to.
So you have not seen The Price of the Ticket yet?
I have not.
Oh my God, you're in store for such a treat. I watched it last night and I was like, oh my God. So who's your friend? Bring him over here. Come on over here. So what's your name?
Hello, my name is Muhammad Ojadagi.
Hi, Muhammad Ojadagi. I hope I said that correctly.
You did.
So tell me about what James Baldwin means to you and what do you think he meant to the world?
His truth, honesty. He's my favorite writer.
You're so young.
Yeah, one of my favorites is Tell Me How Long the Train's Been Gone. I love that piece.
Why do you like that?
I see it as a movie. A lot of his writing is so specific and it's just on point, and it's also very, very, very in-depth writing where he goes into detail about everything. So I really enjoy that because I'm a writer myself. So I really enjoy his work, and I'm inspired every time I get a chance to even be around the
So you probably have already seen this documentary then.
I have not seen this one. I have not.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you are in store for a treat.
I am, yeah.
What are you most looking forward to about learning about James Baldwin?
Today? Oh, I mean, I know a lot about him, but I would just say I just want to just appreciate him and just celebrate him and give thanks.
Well, thank you so much for your time and enjoy tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Hey everyone, it's Kimberly Lee, Girl on the Go. I'm still at the Vortex. I'm so excited about the James Baldwin screening about to happen, and who walks in? Hike. So, Hike, I know you don't even know me from Adam, but who are you and what does James Baldwin mean to you?
Well, my name is Hike. I've been an activist and I work in Skid Row for about 10 years now and coordinate a community arts and cultural space.
You're with Lamp, right?
Former Lamp, currently Studio 526.
Oh, fantastic.
And James Baldwin, so many things, but perhaps importantly with the work that we do, James Baldwin is someone whose voice and perspective is central to understanding American experience, I would say. and then there's a 2-hour answer as well.
Yes, and we'll let the movie do that.
Right, exactly. But yeah, I think reading and understanding James Baldwin is essential at any period, perhaps now especially so because of the level of divisiveness.
So is it safe to say that he's timeless?
He is timeless, of
So,
course.
I mean, we're about to see a film that was made in 1989, 90, which the youth that I deal with, that's like ages ago. But it's really the message tonight. Could be applied to today's situations going on.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think James Baldwin is a queer black artist speaking about things that were at the center of what is inherently wrong with our society at the time when this was not even discussed and even close to mainstream. And I think that's just kind of like my thoughts when I hear about it being timeless. What makes it timeless is that someone who thinks very deeply about societal interactions and what is there, what needs to be talked about, what needs to be brought to the surface. Yes, it's absolutely important today, as it was when he was talking about it, or 100 years before that.
Well, the event's about to start, so I'm going to let you enjoy your evening. I just sort of hijacked you. Thank you so much, Hike.
My pleasure.
Interview. How did you actually come to work with him? And it was totally by accident. We were chatting earlier about the rhythm and blues singer Ruth Brown, and it was through my friendship and my work with her that I actually met Mr. Baldwin totally by accident. It had been decided, and he entered in an agreement to actually do a musical version of the Amen Corner. And Ruth asked me to come down to the theater. It was actually in Washington, D.C. It was a tryout scene. And I went down to the Ford's Theater, went backstage to chat with her, and she says, "Oh, you really need to talk to our general manager because they need you. They need you to help with this project, help with this show. And it's going to Broadway, so they really need you." So I said, okay, and I went further backstage to meet with this general manager, and he basically hired me in like 10 minutes. And as I'm coming through the backstage area of the Ford's Theater, I'm walking through this kind of narrow, dark corridor, and I actually reach the interior audience area of the theater. And there sat James Baldwin. Well, me being fresh out of college, maybe like 3 years post-college, I'm seeing this man that I only read his literature, never having in my wildest dreams thinking that it's actually meet him. And as I walked closer down the aisle, his eyes were staring at me, and I'm like, I couldn't speak. I was paralyzed, and I managed to utter out 2 words, and those 2 words were, "Thank you." And he started to laugh, and those eyes became glaring, and he asked me, was I working on the show? And I said, yes, I was just hired. And he says, well, why don't you come with my assistant and I over to the hotel, and we'll have a drink. You know, you saw he loved life, and he loved to party. So I gathered my nerves together, and I went over to this hotel with Mr. Baldwin's assistant. And unbeknownst to me, here's the producers of the show and the director and all these people over in the corner. And I'm waiting because I'm so happy to be, you know, part of the whole team. The next day I was unhired because I was in the presence of Mr. Baldwin. They fired me. I didn't know what any of that meant. So when I saw him a couple of days later, he was like, well, young man, how's it going? I mean, how is your work? I said, well, actually, I was fired yesterday. And he went ballistic. He says, young man, you'll get a call tomorrow from Elliot Hawk, and you are now working for me. So I had to go through this covert operation to do what I would have been doing for the show, undercover for Mr. Baldwin. I'm not going to get into all those details, but the wonderful thing about this man was every time I was around him, his glaring passion for people, for life, was evident. It did not matter who you were. The dishwashers in the restaurant were just as important to him as the restaurateur, the owner. It mattered not. He was such an observer of life that when he just strolled down the street, when he saw any kind of indignity happening, or any kind of thing that was out of sorts that might offend human life, he immediately, jumped in the midst of it to make sure it all got sorted out positively for that person. And he was simply just caring and loving. And he was probably the first person I could truly say was a global citizen, because he really met no stranger. And I would forget this. We would be at the train station going from one city to the next, and I would forget that this is James Baldwin I'm with, and all of a sudden he's being mobbed. And I'm like, oh my God, we've got to get on the train. We've got 3 minutes to get to the track. And he was just revered and loved by everybody. And it was hard working for him because I would have to get up in the morning and go to work, but I would have been dredged through the streets all night long from one party to the next, to the restaurant. And we always ended up at David. We saw David in the film a lot, at David's haunt where he bartended. So I would see people like Dr. Lien, who my uncle often refers to as a surgeon. These people, I don't know how they did it. They drank so much booze. I mean, I couldn't even imagine. I mean, and get up the next morning and go and do heart surgery. I don't know how they did that. But I'll come back maybe with a question, perhaps. I don't want to keep going on about the little things, but the big things you saw in the film. You saw how he just tried so hard to make a right out of a wrong. And that was like, it was constant. And people loved to be around him. And through him, I met all the literary giants that I stayed friends with and stayed in touch with. The last time I saw him, we went to DC from New York, and you saw the unfolding of his illness was being expressed. But his family kind of knew something was going on, so they asked me to talk to him. Even though I no longer worked with him, I was still very friendly with the family and with him. And they said, Clarence, please talk to him and tell him he really needs to lay off the booze and stop smoking so many cigarettes. And there we were sitting on Broadway, and I think it was 71st Street, like one of those diner places. And so I found the courage, as my auntie would say, be courageous. I try to be courageous and say to him, Jimmy, your family wants you to slow down, lay the booze down, and cut some of those cigarettes. And this man looked at me, and he opened up those eyes as only those eyes could do. And he said, how can you ask a man who's already died 1,000 times to do anything that would lessen his life?
Well, I'm just interested in his two major plays, two that most people recognize. The Amen Corner, of course, Mr. Charlie. Since Clarence, this is a question for you, did he ever talk about those two plays and contrast them? Did he indicate a preference, or did he suggest one was more powerful or more effective in his eyes?
I think you saw from the documentary, once he finished the piece, it was important to him to go on to speak the language, to tell the story of the next. I never, ever heard him speak of any comparisons from one book to the other, or one play to the other. that was never done around me at any time. And I had the great joy of really letting him, being around him as he talked to other literary people. I remember one afternoon we went to Dr. Eleanor Trader's house. I don't know if you know who she is, but she just retired a couple of years ago as dean of the English department at Howard University. And she was great friends with, my auntie and several other literary folk. And as we sat in her living room, she just wailed. She just wailed. My God, I can't believe they're putting music to the Amen Corner. There's music already there. I can't go down there and see it. And in that moment, I realized that the whole fight for Jimmy had been to protect his literature. And now, maybe it was money. I never asked him why he allowed them to do a musical version of the Amen Corner. And the conflict, as I mentioned earlier, the reason I got fired was because he was fighting them. He wanted, if you're going to put music to my work, then it must not in any way compromise the integrity of the story. And then, just to add a little aside to that, Philip Rose was a director. And Philip Rose was a Broadway producer who, Raising the Sun, you might remember. He was actually the producer of the Raising the Sun on Broadway, the original director. And he felt like he actually was an authority on Black people because when he was just out of college, he sold insurance to Black households, and the matriarch would let him into the kitchen, and he got to sit at the kitchen table, and so all of a sudden he was an authority on Black people. So he did not want James Baldwin to tell him anything about his own literature.
Okay, we're going to open the floor. Anybody would like to make a comment, you're welcome. I'm sure you enjoyed the film, and we'd like to hear what you thought about it. Hello?
I'd be interested in those of you who are familiar with both plays to share with me whether one or the other resonated more with you, especially if you are African American. The Amen Corner versus Blues for Mr. Charlie. Anyone?
Also, the film didn't delve a lot into his political views. It talked about it, but this is a real scholar. He had a view that he was a witness to what was happening around him. And he thought that the choice that a writer has, and I know there are a few writers in here, it's either to be with the immorality of the status quo or the morality of something new and different, so that the humanity of people would come out of that. And perhaps somebody has a view on that? No?
I'll say something real quick.
Go.
I did see some years back the Amen Corner and also Blues for Mr. Chubb. And at that time I saw it, I related much more to Blues for Mr. Chubb than Amen Corner. I don't remember why all of a sudden, but I remember at the time that I was doing.
Was this when you were in the service?
Well, no, I saw, matter of fact, I saw the Amen Corner here at the Cornet Theater. The actress Lee Richards. And I saw Blues for Mr. Charlie with the actor was Otis. He was in that movie he had some problems, I think. But he was in that movie with Jack Nicholson. They were two sailors. You remember that guy, Oldest something? Well, anyway, I saw him do it.
But maybe, George, you could give the audience a brief synopsis of both pieces, maybe helpful.
Well, I'm still a relatively new playwright. I've only been writing for the last 10 years. Something I discovered a passion for in my retirement years. In reading both plays, the amen corner for me is less about race than it's about love. I got the impression that James Baldwin was super comfortable at first writing that play because that was his incubation. He grew up in the church, his father. He preached. He knew the sounds. He knew the smells. He knew how that church vibrated with the stomping, with the singing, with the clapping. And for that first scene, Margaret, the female pastor, which in the 50s, for black churches, even independent churches, there were, my understanding, I grew up in the Indian church, very few female pastors. So seeing her art and trying to keep her son close to her and be a member, a good Christian, and then have her absent husband show up later in the play and view him as a threat to her relationship. There's also the church politics trying to usurp Margaret as the pastor. That, I felt, was a common theme. At the end of the play, when she is, in effect, there is a coup. She realizes her husband who's died. That's one reason he returned. Love is what it's really all about. And she was losing her son, who she loved. And she lost part of what life is all about through not experiencing the love of her husband. And she had lied to her son about why her husband had left. So this is a common drama, family drama in many ways, couched in his experience in the black church and with the issues of the day. Race is not a particularly important factor in its first play. In the second play, Blues for Mr. Charlie, it is central.
Yeah. But one thing with James Baldwin, he raised certain ideas which are now very prominent within the black intelligentsia. For instance, he talked about the white reality. The reality that white folks see black people as different, as not within their realm. And we see it in practical things today. For instance, when there was the crack epidemic in Los Angeles and across the country, the victims were called predators and all those kinds of things. And now we have a situation where we have a lot of meth that's been affecting white folks. And now it's about treatment and about all these kinds of supportive part of it. And I think Baldwin looked at this as one of the prime problems within our country. And based on what is happening now, it hasn't really changed. So, does anybody else have? Please, go ahead.
I was supposed to Baldwin for his poetry.
Could you come to the mic so we can record it?
I got exposed to Baldwin through his poetry, specifically what happens to a dream deferred.
Yes.
And to me, it addressed the idea that frequently America talks about you can be whatever you want, you can do whatever you want. And you hear that, but when you make the moves to make that happen, you run into obstacles, whether real, imagined, people placing roadblocks in your way. Some people strike out because of that, and they end up in prison and act negatively when they can't get what they want. What happens to that dream?
Yeah, you know, that is one thing that is, that was throughout his life, this idea that America says one thing and does the other. And he writes a lot, especially his interviews that I've seen. He writes a lot about Malcolm X's saying that if we need civil rights, then we're not citizens. If we were citizens, we wouldn't need civil rights. And this is essentially a thread through all his work, through his first book, through his essays, and you've just hit on the basic problem that Baldwin identified.
Bill, can you comment, as those of you from your educational background and why you here, what propelled James Baldwin to maintain this sense of optimism right to the end, in spite of his laser-like 3D, X-ray vision of our country, our culture, the challenge of race that still hasn't been adequately addressed?
From my perspective, they said it in the film, his family, their children, the youths that he was teaching, he was eternally optimistic about that. And if he wasn't, I don't think he could really go on. But he was factual about what was happening around him.
I'd like to add, and I may have said this earlier, he was really loved. He deeply loved humanity. And he really wanted the best for the world. And despite its ugliness, as he was so quick to point out, he was the mirror of truth for the ills of the world. And he refused to stop loving humanity as it was. Even, you would think, as they kind of talked about, was he angry? Was he hating white people? No, he didn't hate white people unless they appeared ugly and enraged to harm someone. And then he would simply challenge them from that intellectual standpoint. But it was really love. He loved people to a fault. He took care of his entire family until his dying day. He bought the apartment building in Midtown Manhattan, where they all lived. In fact, he came to New York, he had nowhere to sleep. He slept at David's house, at David's apartment. But it was about love. He was so concerned with love.
But another thing that was not in the film that I'd like to kind of point out is that when James Baldwin was 15, 16, he used to hang out a lot with painters. And he recounted a mentor of his while he was a waiter in the East Village, and he had a painter friend, I guess an older man, who looked at him in rain, and he looked at him and said, "Look at the water." And that was going along the street, and he thought, "Yeah, so it's rainwater." He says, "Look again." And he was able to understand that it's not only water, it's a reflection of the buildings around it. There's a lot of other things in that water, and the point of the story is that you cannot just look at something facially. You have to try and understand it, and I think that's what James Baldwin tried to do. Please, go ahead.
There's nothing particularly incisive about what I'm going to say, but I was so amazed to see the footage of him in the town in Switzerland, in France, in the 50s when he was there, and in Turkey. That was just amazing, absolutely amazing that was available and included. I just loved it.
I found that talented people always do things and try to learn about other people. I think that's kind of a mark of a true artist. The one thing I've never been able to understand personally is why he went to France. You always thought that a writer should write what he knows. And I don't know if he could really know America at the present time while in France, but obviously he did. And people take different roles in what they want to do. And although you cannot understand it, it's still something that happened. He was the better for it. I'm going to wrap it now because I think most people are, it's kind of late, but who'd say yes there? So we're going to wrap it up now. And thank you all for coming. It was a wonderful evening, and it was a wonderful evening not only because of the film, because you showed up. And you showed that you cared about what we're doing, and we're very grateful for that. Thank you.
Log on to BobbyBuck.com, BobbyBuck.com. Log on to BobbyBuck.com, BobbyBuck.com, LobbyBuck.com, BobbyBuck.com.